This is what happened when two of the NBA's most explosive offenses collided in a back-to-back series that produced 411 combined points, along with a historic milestone that placed Anthony Edwards alongside LeBron James and Kevin Durant. If you came looking for a Timberwolves versus Cavaliers matchup on January 11th of 2026, that game never took place because these teams wrapped up a home-and-home series on January 8th and 10th instead, and what unfolded across those two nights reveals exactly where both franchises stand heading into the second half of the season. January 8th at Target Center in Minneapolis saw the Timberwolves come out firing, shooting 57% from the field and 53% from three-point range, both season highs for a team that had struggled against quality opponents all year. Minnesota cruised to a 131-122 victory over Cleveland. The real headline belonged to Anthony Edwards, who finished with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists while crossing the 10,000 career point threshold somewhere during that performance. Cleveland responded 2 days later, and the Cavaliers made sure nobody left Rocket Arena questioning their firepower. The final score read 146-134 in favor of Cleveland, and that 146 represented the fourth highest scoring output in regulation in franchise history. 5 different Cavaliers reached 20 or more points in the same game, a feat the organization had only accomplished once before, back in March of 1972. Donovan Mitchell led the charge with 28 points and 8 assists, while Evan Mobley contributed 24 of his own. Jalen Tyson added 23, Darius Garland chipped in 22, and Sam Merrill rounded out the group with an even 20. Mitchell spoke about the win afterward, explaining that Minnesota got up by 12, but Cleveland responded and did what they had to do. The 280 combined points between both teams set a record for the highest scoring game in the entire history of this matchup. This is what happened when the future of the NBA walked into TD Garden and beat the defending champions with a clutch jumper. Victor Wembanyama's 15-foot shot with 19.2 seconds remaining lifted San Antonio over Boston 100-95 on January 10th, 2026, and that victory snapped a 6-game Celtics winning streak against the Spurs. Boston controlled most of the contest, but San Antonio flipped the script in the second half by outscoring them 50-40. Wembanyama delivered 16 of his 21 points after halftime, while playing just 26 minutes off the bench as he manages a left knee bone bruise. A 12-4 run to close the game finished Boston off, and this marked San Antonio's first win over the Celtics since January 5th of 2022, which meant 6 straight losses to Boston finally came to an end. San Antonio entered at 26-11 and second in the Western Conference, riding a franchise-best 5-0 start to the season. Boston stood at 24-13 in third place in the East, still defending their 2024 championship without their superstar. Jason Tatum ruptured his Achilles on May 12, 2025 during Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against New York, and he hasn't played since. Reports indicate he's determined to return, possibly by February or March, which leaves Jaylen Brown carrying everything right now. Brown is putting up 29 points per game this season, a career high, and recently tied Larry Bird's franchise record with 9 consecutive 30-point games. His post-game reaction told the story of his frustration. Boston shot just 4 free throws compared to San Antonio's 20, and his words cut straight to it when he told reporters to give him the fine. Wembanyama's second season numbers tell you where this is heading. This is what happened when 2 rebuilding teams met in Salt Lake City, and one of them decided to make franchise history. Charlotte demolished Utah 150-95 on January 10th, 2026, a 55-point destruction that became the largest road victory in Hornets history and their second largest win ever as a franchise. The outcome never stood in doubt. Charlotte raced out to a 16-4 advantage, stretched it to 45-14 by the end of the first quarter, and held a 77-38 cushion at halftime after outscoring Utah 16-1 from three-point range. That maximum lead eventually ballooned to 57 points. 9 different Hornets reached double figures, and what made it even stranger was how little time some of them needed. Trey Mann came off the bench and poured in 20 points across just 12 minutes of action. Brandon Miller chipped in 18, while LaMelo Ball knocked down 5 threes on his way to 17 points. Miles Bridges and Colin Sexton each finished with 15. Utah sat Lauri Markkanen, their best player and the league leader, at nearly 28 points per game this season, which tells you everything about where their priorities stand. Walker Kessler remains out for the year after shoulder surgery. Both teams entered with identical 13 and 25 records, quote, locked in a fight for lottery positioning ahead of an elite 2026 draft class. The situation gets more complicated for Utah because they owe Oklahoma City a first-round pick that's protected only if they finish in the bottom 8, which means losing actually serves their long-term interests. Charlotte carries a different kind of burden, 9 consecutive seasons without a playoff appearance, the longest active drought in the NBA.